Hello, welcome to Front Racing's PCF 9 at Willow Springs International. We have had to do a little bit of a restart here, so if you haven't watched the qualifying session, that'll be available on the YouTube channel. Front Racing PCF Round 9 Willow Springs International Part 1. We're going to give the drivers the 5-minute warm-up session here and then the race. Now what we're doing is we're giving the drivers 2 laps to get into qualifying position, so effectively safety car conditions for the start of the race. Now the grid order will be as follows. In first place, Kay Slay. In second place, Hesselden. In third place, Hulkenberg. In fourth place, Dave the Harp. In fifth place, GBM Beardy. In sixth is Neotig. Seventh is Richie Davey. Eighth is Woolhouse. Ninth is Andy Russell. 10th is Azamort. 11th is Driver Montana. 12th is Duo Finn. 13th is Stringy B. And 14th is Lielmo McElroy. Okay, so now that we've given the grid order out there on the live stream, hopefully any of the drivers that were listening in will be able to hear it, or if they've got friends that are listening in, they will be able to hear that as well. Well, this is it kind of adds on to that rant I was going on about the other day, where with racing games, they really should give the lobby host the opportunity to select the grid order, because it would make life just so much easier. We've sent a message out to all of the drivers explaining about a 2-lap safety car condition, but if by any chance one of them hasn't seen that message, they're going to dart off at the start wondering what the hell is going on. So hopefully all of the drivers have seen the messages, have seen the grid order, know what position they need to be in. So, Ray, are we ready for this? Because it's going to be a bloody mess.
Yeah, I'm ready, but whether the drivers are ready, I don't know.
It's a good question. Now, we could have quite easily skipped this warm-up session, but we do still want to give the drivers the opportunity to get their race setup sorted in preparation. They may be able to go perhaps a little lower on the fuel with 2 safety car laps, or perhaps change their tyre strategies. That will be entirely up to them. Hopefully we won't have any further issues, but you know what Project Cars is like. Chances are there will be a few. Okay, a couple of drivers out there. Andy Russell sporting white, black and pink car at the moment. Dave the Harp in his usual livery, as is Hulkenberg and Hesselden. We're looking at the...
Elmo's getting close on the warm-up. They're trying to push each other.
Well, maybe they're thinking the only way to go faster is to push each other. I will quickly go through the grid order once again, so if there are any of the friends watching the live stream, you've got them in the chat party that haven't seen the messages, there will be a 2-lap safety car conditions. Basically what that means is we've got 2 laps to get the drivers in order. That order will be Kaysley, Hesselden, Hulkenberg, their first, second and third. 4th place Dave the Harp. 5th place GBM Beardy, 6th place Neotig, 7th place Richie Davey, 8th place Woolhouse, 9th place Andy Russell, 10th place Azamort, 11th place Driver Montana, 12th place is Duo Finn, 13th position is Stringy B, and 14th is Lielmo. And I'm not going to go on about how to improve your connectivity, because we saw what happened last time. I didn't have the look of the Irish on that one, did I? But there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
You jinxed it.
I did. But having said that, I mean, you did say Lielmo McElroy came in and it seemed to boot me out. So I blame Elmo. Okay, for the race that we're going to have here, Ray, it's 35-lap race, but obviously the drivers are only going to really be racing for 33 of them. We know the tyres take a bit of punishment around here. Do you reckon we're going to be having a hell of a lot of pit stops? Or do you think drivers will go for the harder tyre and try and go longer?
I'd say 3 stops at least. Well, yeah. I don't know what Hesselden will do.
Oh, Hulkenberg, he's having a bit of a spin. Yeah, I mean, Hesselden's usually very good on his tyres, so it will be interesting to see what he does, and he does quite often like to use the harder of the tyres that are available. Now, What you might find, though, is on such a short circuit, the opportunity to gain time back might not be there unless someone's tyres really hit the cliff. So trying to perhaps do an additional stop might not work around this circuit. The only way we'll find out is by getting through the laps and seeing what happens. Okay, we've got 30...
just a message to Joe Fan. All the assists were allowed. I don't know if you used them or not last season, but it wasn't a no assist league. That was a F1 league.
Yeah, on F1 is where we have a no assist league and an assist allowed league. I do know that Duofin has asked for there to be no assists on the Lotus 72. That, to be honest, needs to be discussed and may actually go to a vote. We will have to work that one out. I mean, at the end of this season, there's going to be at least a 3-week break anyway at the end of the PCF season. So we're not in too much of a rush to get that finalised, but we're contemplating it. We just need to work out what will be best. Okay, so I'm going to need to get out of the way of all of the drivers, as you will need to as well, Ray, quite possibly.
Green, green, green. Go, go, go.
And I've been given a drive-through penalty. Okay, so now it's time for the drivers to get themselves in order, which isn't going to be really, really easy for them to do. But we'll see how we get on. And Richie Davey seems to have just bolted off at the front, and he really needs to slow down and let the other guys back through now, because it's an absolute waste of time doing that, really. Okay, K-Slay is the race leader, so he needs to be in first place. Second place is Hesselden, who's currently in third. Dave the Harp is ready to be in fourth place. He's now in fourth place, it says. He's in his right position, but they've all got to get past Richie Davey. So he's confusing everything at the moment. So now we've got K-Slay in first place, Hesselden in second place, Hulkenberg in third place. Dave the Harp is now in fourth place. Yep, GBM Beardy is in fifth place. Then we've got Neo Tig in sixth place. Then we need to have Richie Davey in seventh place. So now that Richie's let everyone through, he needs to gain a place. And he's just about doing that now. And then Woolhouse in 8th place, Andy Russell in 9th place. Then we need Azamort in 10th place. Azamort is not in the race. Azamort is not in the race, unfortunately, so we'll have to continue on. So that puts Duofin up to 10th place. Driver Montana, it says he's in 11th. Stringy B. And then Lee Elmo. So unfortunately for Azamort, he's not going to be able to complete the race. But I think this is the end of the first lap. They are going to continue on for one more lap, but the drivers are now in the right order. Yeah, Azamort left the session. It doesn't say he got disconnected, strangely enough. It says he left the session. Okay, so this is a situation now where the drivers just need to hold their order. And then when...
does Montana and Joe not have to switch positions? I've got Montana 11, Joe 12.
You're right, you're right. Montana should be ahead of Duofin. But with Azamort not being there, it has confused things a little bit. So we'll let them off for that for the moment, because we're not far off getting ready for the start of this race. So when K-Slay feels like it, as he gets closer to the end of the lap, he'll be able to bolt and go for it. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens then. One of the problems that the drivers may have at this moment in time is that their tyres will be cooling down, and they're not going to want that to happen too much. The question is, when is K-Slay going to decide, right, it's time for me to go? He's already decided by the sounds of it. Has Duofin dropped back, has he?
He's watching us, Joe. Let driver through.
Okay, K-Slay. Sorry, Ray. K-Slay has gone, so he's not wasted any time. Hesselden was a little bit sleepy there, but is now underway. Hulkenberg third with Dave the Half fourth. And then it's getting a little bit busy further behind. We've got three cars trying to go side by side. Woolhouse in seventh place. with Andy Russell in 8th and Richie Davey down to 9th place. I wonder if he got caught sleeping a little bit there.
Somebody's off. I thought somebody was off. I thought Heselden was away off. It wasn't. Must have been a glitch.
Quite possibly. Dave the Harp, he's gone wide. GBM Beardy, he's gone wide. So Dave the Harp losing places now. He doesn't need that. Where's Hulkenberg? I don't believe it.
Must have been Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg's been
and somebody else's wheelhouse into the barriers.
Okay, it looks like Hulkenberg's been disconnected. He's now out of this race. Absolute devastation for him. Dave the Harp, though, he's down in 6th place. He now needs to go and try and get himself up to 2nd place. To be honest, I'll feel for any of the drivers that may get disconnected at this point. Apologies for that. We have got a 4-car battle going on now here in 6th place. Oh, they're all going a little bit wide. I heard you go, Ray, a moment ago. Oh, as Andy Russell tries a move on Neotig Jr. Didn't quite work. He's had to concede the position. And Heselden's still in 2nd while Casely pulls out a lead in 1st. Yeah, I heard you go, a moment ago, Ray. What was that for?
Joe Finn was trying to get back on Dave the Harp. I thought there was going to be contact in that last corner.
Well, managed to avoid it, I think, but GBM Beardy in 3rd place. He's under attack, a little bit of contact, and now the next car trying to come through is going to get very, very busy. Any of these drivers have a bit of a moment. They're soon going to find themselves getting absolutely mugged by a whole train of cars. But I tell you what, for James Hulkenberg being disconnected in this race, there couldn't have been a worse scenario for him other than if Dave the Harp gets disconnected. Now, some may think it's a little bit cruel on Hulkenberg, and in a way it is, but he has to remember, as we all do, that Heselden was leading a race and the standings and was disconnected as well. Was leading a race by a long way and ended up giving away all of those points. Andy Russell, though, in 4th place now. He's got a right train of cars behind him.
Yeah, there's four of them, well, 3 close, and the 4th one's just coming, that's Joe Finn. So this will be a good battle once they all close up. Well, if they close up.
If they close up. If they can pace themselves, keep the cars on the road, they could be in for an epic battle. If they keep pushing a bit too much and getting off the edge of the circuit a little bit, they're just going to cost themselves plenty of time. But I tell you what, Duo Finn lining up. Dave the Harp for a move, trying to go up the inside through the sweeper. Might not be a bad idea, this. Duo Finn, he's gaining places all over the place as Dave the Harp's... Oh, he's now trying to go up the inside. He's gone for a bit of a switchback. A bit sneaky, that. But you know what? It worked. It really did work for him. GBM Beardy's managed to break away from that pack, but I'm not sure if he's going to be catching the leading pair at the moment.
No, I do have a chat request from James Hulkenberg, but I can't go. Sorry, James. Send me a message and I'll read it out.
Yeah, send Ray a message instead. Andy Russell is coming under a lot of pressure here from Neotig. Dave the Harp and Duo Finn are closing in as well.
There's a wee bit of contact with Joe Finn. I think Dave the Harp just thumped on a wee bit too much. But it's when you hit that hill, the car just seems to either lift or it bottoms out, and it just gives you that extra understeer.
That it does. Neotig trying to make his way up into 4th place, not been able to do it, but he's trying to take a tighter line, but Dave the Harp's just nudged him off, as I think Andy Russell is going for the pit lane.
Yep.
That's very, very early for a pit stop. Driver Montana's just gained a place on Neotig, who had to recover back onto the circuit. Stringy B's now got himself into 8th place. Andy Russell is into the pits. Lielmo McElroy's just passed him. Richie Davies down to 11th place in 12th. Oh dear. dear, oh dear. Not going well for Richie Davies. Off the circuit all over the place. Let's see how they're getting on with this battle. Duofin, he's now up to 4th place, so he's managed to get ahead of Dave the Harp. Oh, and Dave's gone off. He's gone wide. I don't know if he's got damage or whether he was trying to let Neotig back past him, because he did give Neotig a bit of a nudge there to send him off track. Driver Montana under pressure from Stringy B, and they're now on the back of Dave the Harp as well. I told you this will get frantic, and it is doing.
Yes, it is. Richie's in the pits as well.
Maybe it's damage for Richie Davey there then. Either that or the tyres are just absolutely falling to pieces. Casely still leading the way. Hesselden trying to catch him up. Not quite able to do it at the moment, I don't think, though. Fastest lap for Casely, a 106.444. Hesselden, a 106.422. Not much between them, but Hesselden is closing that gap, but he's just ran a little bit wide. That'll give him a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, and then the rest of the guys are up to 107s, so they've got, what, 3 seconds?
Yep.
Roughly.
They've got a bit of time to find. I tell you what, Duofin's in 4th place. He's got a fair few cars ahead of him, but they're cars that are now, I think, in a lap situation. No, it's not. The car directly ahead is Beardy, so Duofin closing in on 3rd place then. The car ahead of Beardy is one that must have already pitted. Told you this was going to get frantic. It's going to get even harder as pit stops are done. But Duofin, he's gone from about 10th, 11th place up to 4th place at the moment. So not a lot of practice for him. Seems to have been working. 5th and 6th, getting a little bit spread out now. 7th place, driver Montana. I thought he was going for the pit lane then, but he isn't. 8th, Stringy B. Lielmo McElroy 9th. Andy Russell 10th, who did pit. Woolhouse, I think, pitted as well. He's in 11th place. And he's got Duofin behind him now. And then Richie Davey 12th. And I did just see a car in the background, a red one. Looked like he was going for the pit lane. It is Lielmo McElroy. He's just crashed into my car. Hope you've not done too damage to that one. Or too much damage to that one. Okay, Kay, go on.
And Hulkenberg said that he had a black screen into turn 1, championship over, sad face.
You know what, Hulkenberg? Championship is not over yet. Phone Dave the Harp, see if you can make his internet go off. Just don't tell him I said that. Okay, Hesselden's dropped off the back of Casely at the moment. Beardy, he's going to have to be careful of Duofin, because Duofin is closing in fast. Okay, let's have a look at the standings. Hulkenberg's not going to score any points. I mentioned it at the start of the event in part 1 what the permutations would be. So Hulkenberg going into the final round is still going to be on 147 points. He needs Dave the Harp to score 0, preferably. But if Dave the Harp scores 20 points or more, he'll take the title here. But thankfully for Hulkenberg, Dave the Harp's in 6th place. 6th place is only 10 points, so it would be a 15-point gap between.
Duofin's got a good run on GBM Beardy. Mr. Beardy, we'll call him. Oh, that was close there.
Duofin's done this move a few times, trying to go up the inside. Is he going to try it again? No, Beardy's shut the door on him. But he may be able to get a better exit. I'm impressed with Duofin at the moment. I'm wondering if perhaps he's running very soft tyres, giving him a benefit of extra speed at the moment. I mean, it is disappointing for Hulkenberg, and I can imagine what was going on in his mind, or what was coming out of his mouth when he realised what was happening. Oh, Duofin, he's really trying to put... Oh, Beardy's gone wide. That's Duofin up to 3rd place. A fantastic move there. Got Beardy slightly out of position and put him on the dirty part of the circuit, and off the track he went.
Was that message just for psychological pressure? Duofin won't be doing much, and then, oh, what the hell's he doing here? Oh,
yeah.
I've been disconnected.
Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, Dave the Harp, he has pitted and he is coming out in 7th place, but he has got a few cars behind him and they are in 4th position, but these guys did pit earlier on. So Ray has been disconnected. That's unfortunate. Is this for position? No, that's Caseley. Caseley's already lapping up to 7th place at the moment. Told you this would get busy on the circuit. It's getting very, very busy. I don't think Caseley's planning on pitting yet. Yeah, for Hulkenberg, I mean, if Dave the Harp finishes 6th or lower, it won't be that bad a result, depending on where Hesselden finishes. Hesselden's only hope of winning the championship really is for Hulkenberg and Dave the Harp to hardly score any points whatsoever and for him to win the last 2 races. But at the moment, he's got Caseley leading the race. And Hesselden, he's in traffic, trying to negotiate it. He's going to have to be cautious, because if that car turns in on him, he's going to spin him, and I'm sure Hulkenberg would like to see that. Duofin still in 3rd place. Beardy, as we saw, dropped down to 4th place, and Neotig in 5th is not that far behind him. Dave the Harp was 6th, but has pitted already. Driver Montana, he's up to 6th place. A little bit of clear road for him, and Dave the Harp is in 7th place. He needs to use these brand new tyres to maximum effect to try and gain the extra positions that he really, really needs. But I tell you, go on, Ray.
James Hulkenberg's on his way over to Liverpool with his pliers.
Would they be pliers that have got the wire cutting bit to just chop an Ethernet cable or an internet cable? Yeah, Dave the Harp, he's now up to 6th place actually. Lielmo McElroy, he's been disconnected, and he's got Caseley right up his gearbox. So making a pit stop, it's costing quite a lot of time around this circuit, and for Dave the Harp, he's not going to be overly pleased that he has made a pit stop, but Caseley is right behind him, and Caseley, no intentions of pitting yet.
And guess what? It's saying it's full. Come on, Project Cars.
Sorry, Hesselden is into the pit, so he's decided to make a stop. But I agree with you. I mean, the lobby is not full. We sent out multiple invites to all of the drivers and ourselves. Hesselden has been dropped down to 3rd place as Duofin has gone past the pit lane. There is space, and annoyingly, you should be able to get back in.
Driver Montana says, "Don't believe it, Project Cars crashed on me."
So Driver Montana has had the game crash on him. It is massively, massively unfortunate. I suppose the only thing that for the likes of Hulkenberg that he could hope for is that everybody now gets disconnected, nobody finishes the race, and nobody scores no points. I'm not going to jinx it with that one. Okay, Caseley, is he going to be making his way to the pits? Effectively, he's done 10 racing laps on these tyres, and no, he's continuing on. He is ahead of Dave the Harp now. Duofin at 2nd place. Hesselden has made his stop and come out in 3rd. Neotig running in 4th. He's managed to get ahead of GBM Beardy. I didn't spot it on the track, so apologies to that one, viewers. But these guys also have not pitted yet either. And Neotig had a very good result in the PCS League on last Sunday, where he managed to get on the podium. So he's looking to try and replicate that one if he can here today. Okay, quick look. Any of the leaders in the pits? No. Caseley, Duofin still going. Hesselden on brand new tyres could now be closing that gap in. So now that you've been promoted to the pit wall, right? Promoted, I mean demoted to the pit wall. You got any news or information for us?
Elmo's pit crew were having a strike when he pitted. They sat down without helping him.
Oh, so was it then for Lielmo McElroy that he's gone for a pit stop? His pit crew have gone, nah, you're all right. We're not changing your tyres, so he's retired from the race. If that's the case, yeah, it could be that's what happens when you drive into my car in the pits, you see. Well, I'll probably find that was Woolhouse instead. I tell you what, Neotig, he did get past Beardy, but now Beardy's looking strong, although he's just ran a little bit wide. Beardy trying to fight back. Okay, that was a little bit odd. I went on board with Beardy then, and it wasn't showing Neotig just ahead of him, but it is now. Okay, 20 laps to go then. Quite a few drivers have pitted very, very early, possibly using soft tyres at the start, getting rid of them, going for a harder tyre perhaps for the rest of the race. They don't have to use two different compounds of tyre. It is entirely up to them, up to the drivers and their pit crews, what tyres they do use. Now, Duofin is second place, but Hesselden is right behind him. K-Slate still has not pitted. Go on, Ray, have you got something for us?
No, I'll let you keep going with your commentary. I thought you were pausing for a minute, but it's okay.
That's alright. I don't mind. There's not a lot going on at the moment other than Hesselden catching up to Duofin, the better brand new tyre, showing they're working at the moment. So for Duofin, he does like doing a one-stop, and if Jason's watching, I'm sure he'll let us know whether Duofin's perhaps planning that or not. The only thing is, if they do tell us, then for us to find out, because we'd have to talk to each other, it'd let everybody else know. Duofin still not going for the pitch yet, so continues on in second place, but Hesselden so much closer now. Now, I know that Hulkenberg will be desperately wanting to know what position Dave the Harp is in at the moment, but sod's law, as soon as I go off these two, an overtake will occur. I'm just trying to think. Let's see. Oh, Duofin's just ran a little bit wide. Hesselden, if he finishes in second place, that'll put him on 137 points. Still 10 points behind James Hulkenberg. The question is, where is Dave the Harp? And we'll get to that in a few moments' time. The sooner Hesselden does the overtake, the sooner we can go and have a look. Go on, I heard your microphone go.
No, I'm just watching the fight, 30 seconds behind.
Oh, Hesselden is so much faster than Duofin now. Duofin was... Oh, Hesselden's gone wide. Is he going to end up in the pits? No. Oh, that was close. That was very, very close. Okay, Neotig and Beardy, they're still going at it. 4th and 5th. Stringy B in 6th has just pitted. Dave the Harp is in 7th place. I don't think he's going to jump Stringy B here in the pit lane. No, he's not. Stringy... Go on.
It's just gone on the softs.
Oh, Dave's gone on to the softs, but that was a fair few laps ago. But Dave the Harp then in 7th place. That's only a points haul of 9 points. So if he ends up staying in 7th place, as Neotig's now been dropped down to 5th by GBM Beardy, yeah, if Dave the Harp finishes in 7th place, scores 9 points, that puts him on 161, with James Hulkenberg on 147. It's still not over. Neotig trying to fight back now on GBM Beardy. These two have been having a fairly decent battle. But what I have noticed sort of with GBM Beardy is he's been caught up, been overtaken, but then been able to stay with the car and attack back. So perhaps with the lack of practice, following a car and using their lines was benefiting him on his racing laps. Now let's see, K-Slade, Duofin, they are both now in the pits, and Hesselden is leading the race. Is this a long stop for K-Slade? I don't think so. He's just gone past Duofin in the pits. Where's Duofin going to come out? GBM Beardy's coming around the final corner now with Neotig. They're both going to jump Duofin. They are, because he is... Oh, K-Slade coming out of the pits right in front of these two. Oh, that's very, very close, and this could actually be for position, you know. It is. K-Slade's in second place, but you know what? I don't think Neotig and GBM Beardy have pitted yet, so K-Slade's going to potentially drive off into the distance. Duofin's come out in 5th place, but disaster in a way for Hulkenberg and Dave the Harp that Hesselden, pitting earlier, has jumped up now to the lead of the race. That could change everything, because if Hesselden scores 25 points here, that puts him on to 142 points, only 5 behind James Hulkenberg. And Neotig, he's managed to get back ahead of GB and Beardy, but Beardy's not giving it up. He's trying to go all the way around the outside of the sweeper. Can't quite get it to work. I would be surprised if these two are going to keep going for many more laps, unless they did stop earlier and we didn't spot it. Casely, he's probably going to be wondering how the hell now he's ended up in second place with GB and Beardy and Neotig right behind him. One trying to work out where the hell Hesselden's gone. They have pitted. Okay, so they must have gone for an early stop and it's closed the gap right up. The downside for them is, though, they're probably going to be doing an additional stop. Okay, let's see what the gap is between Hesselden and Casely. Driver Montana, he's no longer in this race. Okay, Hesselden making his way up to the start-finish line, and I tell you what, the gap between himself and second place is absolutely enormous. Because second place, Casely, he's not even got to the sweeper yet. So Hesselden pitting those number of laps earlier has just given him a huge undercut. But again, he may have to make an additional stop. This race is far from over, far from definitive finishing positions for these drivers. Dave the Harp now up to 6th place. That gives him an additional point, so he could end up after this event on 153. And you know Hulkenberg is going to be sat there with a notepad writing these numbers down, and probably, well, he's probably sat on the toilet watching this. He's either going to be dropping one or throwing up. Neotig and Beardy, they're still going at it. It's almost like they're having a love affair. Getting very close now. Neotig trying to get Beardy slightly out of position. It's not quite worked though. Duofin, I can't see him yet. I can't tell whether Duofin has managed to close up the gap at all. I would have thought he'd be on better tyres than these guys at the moment, and with these two sort of fighting it out, he should be able to close that gap up. He was very fast in the early stages of the race. Oh, a little bit of contact, a little bit more contact. They're both weaving now. I thought for a moment that Neotig may have a little bit of damage, but the car's settled down a little bit, so he now moves back up to 3rd place. And Beardy, I doubt very much he's going to be enjoying that. See if he can, he'll be wanting to get that place back. Duofin is quite far off the back of them now. I'm surprised about that. But the gap Duofin's got to Dave the Harp is enormous. And Dave the Harp, he's got to worry about Stringy B, who's right behind him. And Stringy B has now got Casely catching him up, so bit of a blue flag. Oh, Dave the Harp's going off, he's going off. And I'm fairly sure we can hear Hulkenberg jumping with joy. Dave the Harp now down to 7th place. Not going well for him. Andy Russell, he's in 8th, Woolhouse in 9th, and we've lost a couple more drivers, so the race not going overly well for them. So the battles to keep an eye on at the moment, it was going to be Stringy B and Dave the Harp, but Dave the Harp's off again. I'm wondering if he's got a bit of damage on his car. He's now being lapped by Neotig, I think that is, that's just gone for a pit stop. Or Dave the Harp's tyres may have just gone off. He did pit very early, but Neotig going for one more stop. I wonder if he'll be able to make it to the end on that set of tyres. He may be able to. Beardy now needs to make this lap count, but he's going off. He's off. It's not quite onto the green stuff because there isn't much green around here, but that's going to cost him. He's probably sat there now thinking, damn it, I should have pitted as well. Casely still running 2nd place, and Hesselden just finishing a lap.
Yeah, James Hulkenberg just messaged, come on. That helped Dave. I'm watching Dave's live stream and he was like, oh, come on. Then he went off.
Yeah, Dave would not have been happy about that one. Hulkenberg will be. I mean, it's such a tricky race to keep track of this. And Stringy B nearly going off there. Yeah, I mean, for Hulkenberg and Dave the Harp, who are good friends, I mean, Dave the Harp, he would have been disappointed for Hulkenberg that he's ended up not in the race, but GBM Beardy now pitting. Duofin's up to 4th place, so he's going to jump him. Neotig's the one to keep an eye on because he was battling with Beardy. So yeah, for Dave the Harp, he'll be sat there feeling sorry for Hulkenberg, but at the same time, straight away he'd have been like, yes. And then when he was dropped down the order, it'd be like, no. So yeah, mixed emotions for some of the drivers here. But at the moment, it's Hesselden that is looking the happy. Going to retake 4th place off GBM Beardy, or is GBM Beardy going to get out ahead? Beardy's still stationary. He's now on the move. Neotig takes the place and has now opened up a little bit of a gap between himself and Beardy. That little bit of an off and going that extra lap has definitely cost him.
I'm just listening to Dave the Harp's car. It's bottoming out like a dog with an itchy ass.
Now, for anyone that hasn't got a dog, they'll have no idea what we're on about there. Trust me, if you've never seen a dog trying to scratch an itchy arse, it's one of the funniest things you could ever see. Now, Dave the Harp, I'm fairly sure he's about to get lapped by Neotig. He is. We've got quite a few cars all out of position now, so it's very difficult to spot an on-track battle. That's definitely not one. Stringy B's in 6th. Looks like he was cruising a little bit there. GBM Beardy, how far behind Neotig is he? Not that far, but he's not really as close as he needs to be or wants to be. Neotig is right behind Dave the Harp. The question a lot of the viewers will want to know, though, is Hesselden going to pit again? Does he need to pit again? Well, I think the answer is yes, because he's in the pit lane now. He's on the move, and here comes Casely to retake the lead. The problem is, for Casely, he's going to have another stop to do, I fear. So the gap between himself and Hesselden, he needs to open up now. So Hesselden rejoins the circuit then in 2nd place. Duofin just getting onto the start-finish straight in 3rd place. All going very well for him at the moment, but I do think he's going to have another stop to make. Neotig and GBM Beardy, I think they are actually battling it out for 3rd place net with 10 laps to go. Now, for the final race of the 10 race season, it will be at the Le Mans circuit. A phenomenal racetrack. I know I say many tracks are fantastic. That one is a completely different beast. It could end up being a little bit of a dull, boring race because the cars could get very, very spread out. But it's a test of driver and car as Dave the Harp's gone off again. Either that or he's going to say, oh, I was letting him through under blue flag. But he's going to have to be... I tell you what, I was going to say, he's going to have to be careful of GBM Beardy catching him up soon as well. But I think GBM Beardy has had a bit of a mare somewhere because he's quite far off the back of Neotig now. Nowhere near as close as he would have wanted to been. Stringy B coming out of the pit lane in 6th place. Dave the Harp not close enough to retake that position, and actually Dave the Harp's going to have to be careful of Andy Russell, who could be catching him up as Woolhouse makes his way out of the pits, and he's not going to be overtaken by anybody unless it's under a blue flag situation.
Yeah, and your options go 8 laps, hards go 14. Thank you, James Hulkenberg, for that info.
Handy bit of information to have there. So when Casely comes to make his final stop, you'd have to reckon then that he's going to be going for a set of option tyres, and if they will last 8 laps, I reckon we could expect to see him pitting on this lap, but no, he's continuing on for another one, flashing his lights to the car ahead, which I think is GBM Beardy, who says, yeah, I'm out of the way, I'm even taking out the cones. So Casely still leading this race, unless he feels he can get to the end on this particular set of tyres. Fastest lap for him at the moment, a 106.310. Hesselden has got down to a 106.0. But Hesselden did pit a good 2 or 3 laps ago, so I would doubt very much he is on the soft tyre. Let's see if we can spot what the gap is. I mean, the gap is not very big between Hesselden and the race leader. The race leader being the red dot going through sector 1 now, and Hesselden being the arrow. So if Casely does have to stop, he is definitely going to be coming out in second place. Okay, do we have any battles occurring on the racetrack at the moment? Oh, not quite, I don't think, unless this is for position. It is. Dave the Harp in 6th place, Stringy B in 7th place. Yeah, we saw Stringy B making his pit stop, so Dave's now back up to scoring 10 points, but we have seen he's been going off track a little bit, so if Stringy B can apply some pressure, we could see Dave making a little bit of a mistake. Stringy's actually looking very, very quick and aggressive at the moment. Perhaps got a bit more confidence than Dave. Let's see if he can have any kind of attack. And this is where for Hulkenberg, he's going to be sat there watching. Come on, Dave, stay ahead. No. Stringy B, come on. Beat him, get past him. Although it's only 1 point, it won't make that much difference. Or will it?
No, James is saying Hesselden's got this. He's not watching Dave the Harp.
Well, I think Hesselden will go on to win the race, but if he wants to win the championship, he's going to have to win the final round of the season with a hefty amount of points, I feel. I mean, at the moment, it is going to go down to the final race of the season. Okay, Casely has not pitted. I tell you what, Hesselden, he's got Duofin all over the back of him. I think Hesselden's had a bit of a mare somewhere. He has, I think. Yes, he has. Hesselden's had a mare. So Duofin's fighting him for position now. This is an opportunity then, or could be the opportunity, for Casely to get into the pits. We didn't see what had happened, but definitely Hesselden has lost a lot of time there. With 6 laps to go, I wonder if Casely's now thinking, okay, can we stretch these tyres out? It's only 6 more minutes. I reckon I can do it. It'll be a close one. I mean, last time that Hesselden was around this corner, the red dot was just going through T1, so he has lost a massive chunk of time and he's off again. Duofin moves up to 2nd place. Hesselden's having a mare. Hulkenberg's only gone and cursed him. He may even have damage. Oh my days. Now this is a situation where for Hesselden, if he has got damage or he's having a mare, just keep going. Don't get overtaken by Dave the Harp. 5 laps to go. And it definitely is not all over. Casely, he has continued on. He's not gone for the pit lane yet. Duofin, what a drive he's had so far. I doubt very much he's going to be going for the pit lane. Is Hesselden? Has he got damage? No. That's not Dave the Harp into the pits, is it? GBM Beardy, he's off the track. He's in 4th place, but he's off track. Neotig's in 5th. I think he's had a bit of an off somewhere, or his tyres have gone, because he was in 4th place. 5 laps to go and it's still all changing. Stringy B's managed to get up to 6th place, but he's going off. And there's Dave the Harp not far away. I wonder if either of these can get past any of the cars that are in the pit lane at the moment. No, Neotig's on the move. It says he's back up to 4th place. So what's happened to GBM Beardy? I think GBM Beardy might be out of this race. He is. Hesselden has disconnected. Hesselden's out of this race. Wow, that was something that we did not expect, with now only 4 laps to go, and you can pretty much guarantee that Hulkenberg is now peeing in his pants with excitement. Either that or he's running down the racetrack. I bet you have got messages. That's just freed up Casely to going on to take victory here. It's freed up Duofin as well. GBM Beardy up to 3rd place. Neotig up to 4th place. Stringy B up to 5th place. Dave the Harp in 6th and exiting the pits. My days, come on guys, what's going on? Pitting with 4 laps to go. That's a bit of a shock, that is. Woolhouse in 7th place, Andy Russell in 8th. So we have lost nearly half the grid through disconnections or retirements. I tell you what, it's definitely going down to the final race of the season. As at the moment, the only person that's going to be scoring points out of the top 3 is Dave the Harp. So, Ray, I wonder what messages you've got.
I said, what did they say again, sorry? He said, Dave's going to win now, laugh out loud, curse, laugh out loud. So you should try curse Dave.
Yeah, you should be trying to curse Dave. I mean, at the moment, Caseley's looking fairly comfortable out in the lead. I reckon he was considering pitting again, but once he realised Hesselden had dropped off, decided not to. They only got 2.5 laps to complete to take the victory. What's the gap between Duo Finn and Hesselden? Not Hesselden. Hesselden's not in the race anymore. Sorry. Let's see. It's quite a big gap. I don't think Duo Finn's tyres are going to help him enough to close that gap up. I tell you what, GBM Beardy, he's in 3rd place, but the car behind him on the track is actually Duofin. So Duofin's got a big gap between 2nd and 3rd place to make an additional stop. That has potentially cost him a podium position here now. Stringy B, he'll be happy, I reckon, with 5th place. Dave the Harp, though, oh, I don't know. He'll be happy that both Hulkenberg and Hesselden haven't scored, but if Dave the Harp had won this race or scored 20 points or more, he'd have won the title here in Willow Springs.
He'll be just going.
Yeah, not doing a Darth Vader impression, he'll be sparking one up. But, I mean, I must admit though, for a number of the drivers, the last race of the season is one of those. It's at a racetrack where really, you know what, it's not going to matter that much about what the result is, apart from for who wins the title. For everybody else, it's one of those situations of enjoy these cars around that track, because these cars are made for the Le Mans circuit. It is long.
I know. I think Dave's putting in the fastest times. He's pushing it.
So Dave trying to, maybe he's trying to close up a bit of a gap in the final stages as Caseley, he's crossing the line to start the final lap of the race. I haven't looked at how many laps people are down. Tell you what, Andy Russell, he's 5 laps down. Everybody up to 2nd place has been lapped by Caseley, and also had been lapped by Hesselden. So, a fantastic drive here by Caseley. I think he'll be pleased with this one. Let's see, how many points would that put him on? He's currently on 56. It would put him on 81 points. He won't move up any positions, but he will close the gap on Neotig, who is currently on 87, plus whatever he may score today. Looks like it might be 13 points for him. But yeah, I mean, the Cirque de la Sarthe circuit, it is long. It has got its tricky bits, but these cars should absolutely love it. It'll be a difficult one for the drivers, though, because they're going to need top-end speed. Without it, they're going to get mugged on the straights. But they're also going to need to have general grip in the car, otherwise it's not going to get through the Porsche curves. But Caseley, he's coming around the final corner for the final time, heading up to finish line. He'll take victory here in Willow Springs with a fantastic drive. Well done to him. Duo Finn, it's saying he's in 2nd place, and I do believe is correctly in 2nd place. Yes, I believe he is. So well done to Duofin. What a drive he's had there, getting himself up the order early on. It really paid off for him. Yeah, effective, 9 places I think it was. He did gain one with Azamort not getting to the end. GBM Beardy, he had a fantastic battle for a lot of laps with Neotig. Perhaps wondering where Neotig ended up disappearing off to, but it will be 3rd place for him. It's saying that Dave the Harp is in 4th place, but I'm not actually sure he is, because I feel that Neotig is in 4th place. He is, as he crosses the line and takes 4th place. Stringy B is going to take 5th place. A very good drive for him. I thought he was going to spin it then on the last lap, but no. 5th place it'll be for Stringy B. Very well done to him. A fantastic result. That means that Dave the Harp then is going to be 6th place. He will be disappointed with that one. Woolhouse in 7th, and I tell you what, it's showing me that Andy Russell did not get to the end of the race there. Massive disappointment for him if that is the case. But Casely takes maximum points here. Hesselden and Hulkenberg both will be massively disappointed, but also massively relieved that Dave the Harp is only scoring 10 points.
Yep, well done, Casely, and Neil Tiggs just saying, great race, everyone.
Well, I mean, Neotig and GBM Beardy, they did have a fantastic battle throughout that race. Okay, Ray, is the chat party yours or is the chat party mine?
It's yours.
It's mine. Okay, I'll tell you what, I shall invite Casely, Duofin and GBM Beardy in for a little chat. Although, you know what, I've never actually spoken to Duofin. I've never heard his voice. I don't even know if he's got a microphone, but we'll send him an invite anyway. Come in for a quick podium chat. I mean, it was a very tricky race to get going under the safety car conditions. But after that, absolutely manic, absolutely frantic. Many drivers will be disappointed at their disconnections or retirements. But that's the way it goes sometimes in racing. So, Ray, I was going to say, do you want to pick a driver of the day? But you've probably missed about half of that race.
Yeah, I know. Oh, what a bollocks.
It's I tell you what, it's a difficult one to pick because there's a number of people that could be entitled to that one. I see that Casely has quickly joined us. We'll see if GBM Beardy does as well. But Kay, if you would like to just make sure that you've got your chat party settings to allow your microphone, or put your microphone to always allow. Now, okie doke, and GBM Beardy has joined us as well. So if you could also just quickly make sure that you've got your microphone setting in the chat party set to always allow, otherwise I'll hear you, but nobody else will. And we'll see if Duofin will join us. I mean, like I say, I don't know if he's got a microphone or not. I mean, unfortunately, on F1, he's not been able to.
Commentating.
He's commenting.
Not commenting. He's yeah. I got that one mixed up. Yeah. So, Duofin, get into the chat. Come on.
Yeah, come on, Duo. It doesn't matter how bad your English is, it'll still be better than mine and Ray's put together.
I don't have any English, I'm Scottish.
Well, I asked someone earlier today if they never heard of Panglish because I wrote phone, F-O-N-E, instead of P-H-O-N-E, and they corrected me. So I said, have you never heard of Panglish? I don't think I got a response on that one, probably because he doesn't know what Panglish is. And for those that don't, it's worth having a look because it'll be the future. Or actually, it is the future. So we'll see if Duofin is going to join us, but we'll move on to Casely. Interesting session there, Casely. Pole position. It was close between yourself and Hesselden. Safety car restart. Managed to negotiate that quite well, but when you actually went, you had a nice, healthy little gap.
Yeah, it was. Pace was good at the start. Hesselden was constantly about 1.2 behind. He was really quick in sector 2 and 3, and I pulled away a bit in 1. And then initially I was going to do a 2-stop, but I had the fuel to do an extra 4 or 5 laps. So in previous races I lost out in the pit stops, so I decided to just take the hit of a few poor laps and not have the loss of 40 seconds in the pits, and thankfully it paid off.
Well, that's one thing that I was going to ask you. I mean, when you was battling with, well, not battling as such, you were trading lap times with Hesselden early on, he did seem to go for an early-ish pit stop, and when you made your stop he had quite a bit of a gap. So I was going to ask you if you were going to be going for another pit stop later on, but once you saw he was no longer really in the race, you didn't have to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, if he got disconnected or crashed or whatnot.
Well, I think he had a bit of a moment somewhere on one of the laps that all of a sudden he just seemed to lose a lot of time to you, and he had duo fin all over the back of him. He must have lost a good 10-12 seconds, and then a lap or so later, unfortunately, he got disconnected. So what were you thinking at that?
Well, yeah.
What were you thinking at the point where you're like, okay, I don't need to make another stop, I've got the win here?
Well, I think there was about 10 laps left. He pitted. I had a 9-second lead, and I assumed he to be on soft tyres, and the gap was coming down a few tenths a lap. So I thought at the end it'd be pretty close, but as you say, he had a moment and got disconnected, so I just took it easy, and thankfully Duo didn't catch me in the end.
That is true. Well, very well done. A fantastic race for you there. Duo Finn has joined us. Duo, if you could just make sure that you've got your microphone set to always allow in the chat party settings for us. Otherwise, none of the viewers will be able to hear you. But first of all, I would like to say, hello, I've never heard you speak before. How are you?
Oh, quite nice.
Good. Good, I'm glad to hear it. Ray, just keep an eye on YouTube for us if you can, just in case no one can hear Duo Finn. Well, I've got to say, Duo, a fantastic race there. Perhaps a little bit confusing on the safety car restart, because you were supposed to start, let's see, 12th, but I think Azamort got disconnected on the safety car restart, so managed to jump a position there. But that opening half of the race, you were absolutely phenomenal, gaining places all over the place, especially around the long right-hander at the end of the lap. I mean, do you know how many overtakes you did through that corner in the opening stages?
No, I don't know. Didn't count.
Didn't count. Well, when you watch it back, you'll have to have a look, because there was some fantastic moves through there. So when the race got going and you saw that you're gaining places, did you have any idea of where you may be able to get up to in the order?
No, I just keep driving around. I just try to stay on track.
Well, you managed to do that. It worked. GBM Beardy and Neotig, they were fighting through most of that race, and I think you managed to pit and come out just ahead of them, which worked really well for you. But how surprised was you when all of a sudden you've got Hesselden in front of you and you can actually attack him for second place? I think that would take that as quite surprised. Well, a fantastic race from you, and I tell you what, I'm going to give you today's driver of the day. It's a brilliant race from you. So sorry, K-Slate. You may have won the race, but I'm not going to give it to you. But Duo Finn, well done. Fantastic drive, going from about 10th, 11th place up to 2nd. Very well done to you. Okay, move quickly on to GBM Beardy. How was that one for you? Did Neotig do your heading?
Exhausting, I tell you that. I was going into some of the corners expecting to get a good run on him, and it was that last corner really that made the difference. I just seemed to have the confidence to just sling it in and get a good slipstream into turn 1, and that was it. And then it was when Elmo went to me in the chat earlier, he said that Dave had gone onto the hards and seemed to do quite well on him, that we switched from the soft to the hard, and it meant that I didn't have to do another pit stop. I could stay out there and just increase the gap.
So was it a big relief then when you saw that Neotig had to make a pit stop with about 4 or 5 laps to go?
Oh, it was a massive weight off my shoulders, to be honest, because I think if it was going to go down to them last 5 laps, I don't know who would have been in 3rd place.
No, it would have been
massive respect for him.
Yeah, it would have been very, very close. And to be honest, it was very, very close between the both of you throughout a lot of that race. To be honest, I think you two are on camera more than anybody else. But considering that you'd not had much practice, I think it was about 4 laps coming into the race. And having said that, for anyone that didn't hear it earlier on, Duo Finn also hasn't had a lot of practice on this track. So for Duo Finn and GBM Beardy to have very little practice and end up 2nd and 3rd is fantastic. But how difficult did... I tell you what, Duo Finn, how difficult was it for you having little practice and then doing this race?
Oh, I'm used to it. Yeah, in Formula 1 league.
It doesn't
practice in years.
It doesn't fade. It does. It's no problem for you, is it?
No.
No, typical Finn. Typical Finn. No practice. I'll do a 1-stop. It'll be fine. Okay, Beardy, how tricky was it for you doing it?
Well, it was all the practice, really. I mean, I was trying to remember GT6 and GT5
Yeah.
around this track. But when you go onto the track on this, turn 2, just coming out of turn 2, I just could not get it right.
Yeah, I mean, I did see the odd occasion where you did lose a position was where you'd gone a little bit off the racing line, and once you got off the racing line, that was it, you were going off. But anyway, very well done to you, Beardy. Very well done to you, Duo Finn. Fantastic drives there. Caseley, one final comment from myself to you is, you've taken a victory here, you're showing yourself to be very, very quick. Are you feeling that really you should have been in the fight for the title in this series?
If I joined at the start of the season, maybe. I've had some decent finishes, but I think the top 3 were really quick: Castleton, Hulk and Dave the Harp, so it would have been close. Okay,
I have got one more question for you. So sorry viewers if this is getting boring. One more question, right? Okay, Dave the Harp, I think he's only scored 10 points, right? The gap between Dave and Hulkenberg is going to be 15 points. Hesselden now, unfortunately, cannot win the championship. It's going to go down to Dave the Harp and Hulkenberg. There's 15 points between them. The next track is the Cirque de la Sarthe, Le Mans. Who do you reckon is going to win it out of those two? Okay.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'll go for Dave, just because of the advantage he's got.
Oh, and now you know that Hulkenberg's going to slate you on Sunday when he's doing commentary for the PCS. Okay, Ray, have we got any questions or comments that you'd like to add there?
No, I think Hulkenberg would be good at the next track, so I'll put my money on Hulkenberg.
So that's 1-1. We'll see. We'll have to wait to see what happens. So the final round of the season will be at, as I mentioned, the Cirque de la Sarthe, Le Mans, for 10 laps. That'll be next Friday at 9 p.m, where hopefully there'll be no disconnections and they can just battle it out on the track. Anyway, time to bring this to an end. So thank you very much for everyone that's been watching. Thank you very much to the drivers for taking part, and well done, Caseley, Duo Finn and GBM Beardy for taking 1st, 2nd and 3rd. We've been Front Row Racing. This has been the PCF League. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all again soon.